Packaging Today with Evelio Mattos, Adam Peak, and Cory Connors. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Evelio Mattos on, what do we call this show? Oh, yeah, the Packaging Today show. We got Cory Connors at Corrugated. We got Adam Peak, People of Packaging, and that is baby Adam with the bow in his hair.
Nice bow tie, Adam.
Thank you.
I love it.
Nice.
That was me when I was in like peak physical condition.
Literally peak physical condition. I get it.
All right, man. So what do we got? We got a lot going on today. You guys just came back. I got this branded thing here, shows what our podcast look like. So if you do see, which way do I point? This way, right here. Boom. If you see this on your iPhone, click it and subscribe. And if you see that or the other one, do the same. So go do that right now.
Brought to you by LinkedIn.
That's right. On LinkedIn. All right, so we got a bunch of stuff going on. One, I'm headed to IME East Pack today. I'm actually, as soon as we jump off of this, I'm jumping on a plane. I'm going to New York, and I'm going to be speaking at the Javits Center with my buddy, Gene Portnoy, one of the coolest designers I've ever met. So definitely come by the Javits Center. I think it's free. Get your free ticket to come in. Even if you just come for me, you know, Gene and I we're pretty much worth it. We're going to be speaking about AI and how to use AI in packaging design. This conversation has been going on for a while. It continues to evolve every day. There's something new. Pretty amazing stuff. So pretty stoked. Come check us out. Let's go, Gene. Do us a quick favor. Let us know where you're watching from. Last time, we had like Saudi Arabia and like Tennessee, all on the same show.
Obviously. So, hotbeds for packaging.
That's right.
El Salvador. I don't know when El Salvador is going to come through, but they sure love my podcast. So
you're number one. Number one in
shout out to El Salvador. Still.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still the rating champ. All right, you guys just got back from a conference. Where'd you guys speak at?
The Great Northwest, Seattle, Washington. Circularity 23, put on by Green Biz. John Schmea and his team put on an amazing show. One of the best shows I've ever been to in the world of packaging. Really incredible event. 1,400 people showed up.
Wow.
Yeah. I've never seen that many people in one room at a packaging show. Incredible. Really awesome.
Yeah. You got to tell that guy, what was his name? Chris White? Adam?
Yeah.
No, Chris.
That guy. He was there actually. He was speaking about Adam and Adam's lack of performance at events.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, there's only two people in the room. I was one of them, just staring at him.
That's right.
What do you have to say now, buddy? Not so easy, is it?
That's
right. At least I got 6 people.
Nice. All right. Yeah. Let us know where you're coming from. We got Matt coming in from Atlanta. We got Greenville, South Carolina. We got Amsterdam. Nice. There's an article in the news yesterday that Europe is blowing up. Everybody's flying to Europe. I think it's like travel's up like 200%. And Amsterdam's asking people to please come and just be nice, not go crazy and party. So I can see that.
That's
and we got our buddy Hugh, #Chris, the guy who complained that Adam's conference didn't have enough people, was wasting money.
Yeah, I was wasting money for my company. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, little does he know, you nailed a $20 million account just talking there.
Easy. That's every time I show up. It's
That's
just
right.
like,
with your eyes closed.
Bags of cash.
Yeah. It's like I got Marco's Pizza calling me, just like, hey, can we give you all of our money? I'm like, yeah, Marco's, of course.
Just back it up. Here's my address. All right, man. So just quick packaging news. What do we got going on? There's a few things. One is Australian. My boys in Australia are getting some new laws happening. I'm going to share this quick screen thing here. Check it out. Of course, I wasn't prepared, but that's cool, man. We're just rolling.
This is Where's the producer?
Yeah.
I know, right?
We need our super producer to be able to do all this stuff for us.
Yeah. We're hiring.
Once we get that Marco's Pizza money, we'll hire a producer.
That's right.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we got going on? We got Australia. If you go off the headline, there's not a whole lot here, right? The packaging industry fails on waste, but like, what does that mean? Right? We've talked about EPR. We've talked about recycling. Not having read this article, what do you guys think?
Well, I got to interview Lindy Houston from the IPPO, or IPPO, as she calls it, the International Packaging Press
Mhm.
Organization. And she lives in Australia and spoke about this issue going on there.
Mhm.
What she's excited about is there's new companies moving in, like PackTech, which is an Oregon company that makes 100% recycled plastic drink carriers,
Yep.
like for beverage containers made out of HDPE. They use recycled milk jugs or old PackTech handles to
Mhm.
make more. And she said they are going to open a new facility there in Australia because of these new laws. So it's that kind of thing is exciting in this world
Yeah.
of packaging, that companies that are doing good things are being rewarded with more business.
Yeah. No, there's a bunch of stuff going on. I mean, I know I've had Simon Van Nuven on. He's a recycler in Australia. I believe he's in Melbourne, and but they do plastics recycling. Like that's like
Mm.
their focus, and he says it's growing there. But according to this, you've got according to this, it says it's promising new rules for packaging design. So that's going to impact packaging designers globally, because any product that you're designing here is going to be imported into Australia possibly. So you got to make sure that you're aware of what's happening here, right? These are just things that are developing, and these are the things that you always have to be aware of as a designer, is like what's happening globally, because again, it's going to impact you and the brands you're working with. So they've got they're supported by Unilever, Nestle, Coca-Cola, trying to reduce packaging waste, right? Pretty much the same thing across the board. I think the coolest thing here, though, is it's called the Boomerang Alliance, right? It's 55 environmental groups in Australia. That's the best name they could have come up with.
Well done. Well done,
Really?
Australia.
Is there really a better name for a failed recycling scheme
No.
group of people, but the Boomerang Alliance?
Well done.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I approve. I think that one of the things that kind of came out of circularity that I think we need more energy around is things like the Boomerang Alliance, which is adopting more of a collaborative mindset. And that's what I really felt at the conference of, it's not like compostable versus recyclable versus reusable. It's not a zero-sum game, right? There's not a winner and a loser. And it seems like that's kind of been, and there's still a lot of that out there, right? You have people who want, okay, I saw in the article, right? It's like just 8% of plastic is recycled.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know what the denominator of that equation is, right? Like, is it 8% of all plastic produced ever? Well, of course, it's going to be a really low number, because
Right.
there's a lot of plastic that just exists in perpetuity and stuff,
Yeah.
right? So I'm hopeful that we can start to cheer each other on when it comes towards their goals. Like, if somebody has a goal to use more recycled content, then let's cheer them on. If somebody has a goal to move towards 100% mushroom packaging, mycelium packaging, let's cheer them on. Like, why?
Yeah.
And I think that we've tried to do that, and I'm hoping that we continue to have more and more people coming on saying, like, there isn't one answer to this.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is a multifaceted answer. And by the way, government agencies and state governments they're all trying to do their best, but there's going to be a long time, 5 to 10 years, of just different laws that you're going to have to keep up with, because this whole industry is I think in the beginning stages of getting rocked pretty heavily by buy these things, and not everyone's going to be a nice player. Government's not going to
Okay.
work with private industry, is not going to work with the recycling industry. Like, they're not all going to always be together.
Right.
And so staying on top of these things, I think, is critical, which is why you should always tune into Packaging Today on Monday morning, where we bring you the real stuff.
That's
I think
right.
something we
Packaging
heard
is
was
just half the story.
right. Something we heard a lot that I had never heard before in this industry was pre-competition, and getting together before you launch a product or before you launch a scheme with the other competitors in that region or area of the world of packaging, whether it's recycling or reuse. We heard from the CEO of a company called R Cup that makes recycle or reusable cups for events like Adam's favorite team, the Denver Nuggets, who are about to win, I think.
Let's go.
But
Is that still
Evelio,
going?
no
Is that still
jokes.
going? Is that
Evelio,
still
no
going on?
jokes. No jokes.
one more.
Not the day. This is not the day.
Dude.
This is like do you remember being, I don't know if this resonates, but like when you're like 7 years old and you wake up and it's Christmas morning?
Yeah.
It's weird to feel that as like a 42-year-old person. That's how I felt this morning.
Dude,
So you know what?
You get way too excited over nuggets. I don't know.
Don't tell me there's no Santa right now. I'm on another level. I'm on an elevated plane, and I'm in
Very
Colorado,
exciting.
and it's not that kind of elevated plane.
I don't know, dude. I'm more of the cheeseburger guy, not the nugget guy. But
Yeah.
But you do you.
It's fine. Chick-fil-A still loves you. Raising Cane's, they don't do nuggets, but it's fine.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You're right. I think we should combine our efforts in just different across industries and just try to move into one direction and help each other out. I know there's so much competition across the board. If we look at just like aluminum cans and products that are moving into aluminum, and this goes kind of into the same conversation we had last week in terms of paperization, right? Like brands are moving into aluminum that maybe shouldn't be, or maybe they should be, right? There's like sauces, there's like beef stock, and those things are typically in a TerraCycle. Now they're coming in cans, and you just like a beer can, just pop it open and pour it in. Pour one out for your dead homies if you like, a beer stock. But is that really the right direction? And I don't know the answer, but it's just like, these are the kind of questions like, should these products be going into aluminum? Is aluminum better than Tetra Pak? Possibly.
Mhm.
And then should more people be going into that direction, or should they not? Because, Tetra Pak collapses flat. You can ship more containers. There's different ways to look at sustainability. I think that's the big thing is like,
Right.
every brand, every industry looks at it differently. But I think if we do a little bit more collaboration, we'll have better answers.
Do you
Very
think,
true.
let me ask this question. We didn't like prepare for this one, but you brought up an interesting point. So carve out the top, 10 CPG brands in the world, right?
Mhm.
And you've got 99 point whatever percent of CPG brands. And that's who, most of us in the packaging industry are doing a lot of work with. Obviously, there's people working with P&G and Unilever and all that, but it seems to me that for a lot of these brands, there's like a hang up on what is the exact best, right, most sustainable packaging that we can use. And really at the end of it all, it's like, yeah, your packaging that you are creating is a infinitesimal blip on the radar. And I don't mean it's not important, but what I mean is like, do we sometimes focus on just trying to get all the data, every single data point that we can, when it's like, no, we need to make the best packaging for your product, for your brand. And then after that, go like, are there sustainability options here? Is that the wrong approach, do you think? Because I see people trying to do the first approach, and then it's like, but then they're making brand concessions, or they're making, structural or like, packaging integrity concessions because they're trying to lightweight too much. And I don't know, it's an interesting conversation that I think when you leverage that against the impact that it's having on, carbon emissions and recyclability rates and stuff, it's like probably just focus on getting your product out and helping you sell the most that you can, right? Because
I mean, that's at the end of the day, it's That's what every brand is looking to do. We got Dustin here coming in with, have you heard of Bio Bottle? And if you're aware of any companies that are trialing that now? I'm not aware of it. You guys? I've looked it up. You know, what I see here is Bio Bottle from New Zealand, but these guys are probably not it. This is like a infectious wastes bottling company. I'm not looking
drop
at
a link,
infectious
Dustin.
waste. Yeah, for sure. Drop it in there. We'll take a look. Thanks for throwing that out. Always great to see like new products and stuff.
Adam, I think that was a great point. I think it's the discussion that I hear all the time. It's the question of, is it the designer's responsibility? Is it the brand's responsibility? Is it the packaging company's responsibility that's working with all of these people? Who's in charge of making it more sustainable? And is that the number one focus? And should we spend more time delaying the project to try new sustainable options? These are the challenges that people are dealing with today. It's incredible. I've got a meeting with a multi-million-dollar company today that's going to change, that wants to change all of their packaging to more sustainable options. And how long is that project going to take? Is it going to take 5 years, or you know, can we do it slowly over 1 year? It's you know, I don't know. It's or faster, or you know,
there it is.
Yeah, I'm like,
can we go fast over 5 years or slow over 1 year? That's
or do you want to start with one line, or do you want to start with do a trial of this item and see how it works and test it out and see if your consumers appreciate it. It's a fascinating dilemma.
I know that I don't want to fully derail everything, but I was walking through our like local Kroger, and we all know in the packaging industry, we walk through these stores with a totally different perspective than anybody else has, right? And I was thinking through, like, what if we just like broad sorted, like no single use plastic at all? What would happen? And I'm like, this store would almost be empty.
Yeah.
I mean, and that would be a disaster, right? So it's like the changes that I think people want to see made are so, like, I don't want to say impossible, but in one case, it's like,
it's not realistic.
Not super realistic for a lot of these brands. So anyway, just a tangential thought. We can get back to the news.
No. But I think that's important, right? Because like even, you know, I shared a post of, I don't know, it was like butter and maple syrup in one pack, and you like squeeze it and they both come out together. And from an innovation standpoint, like a structural innovation, like I thought that was pretty cool. Combining two products in one. I know like Liquid Plumber does kind of the same thing, right? It's like one bottle with two different halves. I know the engineer on that one, and they were like, this took us 5 years to develop. It was just such a challenge. And they kind of went through like all the different challenges of like how to do it and blah, blah, blah. And as a designer on the industrial design side, like that stuff's exciting. Yeah, I understand single use plastic. I understand blah, blah, blah. But it is like an innovation. The design is new. You can still get excited about stuff without like, you know, going off the rails, freaking out that, oh my God, this is bad. But then you also have to look, it's not just your country. It's not just where you live where this product exists. You know, if we go to India, if we go to different parts of Asia, even parts, you know, here in the US and like South America, single-use plastic is the way that food can be preserved, where they may not have refrigeration, where, you know, you've got long delivery times, but you don't have refrigerated trucks. Like this stuff saves the food and allows it to get to people that need it.
Right.
You can't eliminate single-use plastic without considering all of the different things where it's going to impact people negatively, just because you don't want to have single-use plastic today. Yeah, it's terrible, but it's also a lifesaver.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. We got Matt with what about reusable glass? Where is that in the industry? I don't know. What are you seeing, Cory?
There was a cool video, by the way. Sorry. There was a cool video that somebody from CCL, which is a giant label printer, made about a Heineken glass. I don't know if you saw that one, where it drops in and then the label just like falls off the glass. And I jumped in. I was really confused. I was like, what is this for? I don't understand, because glass isn't recycled that way. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And then but stupid me, and I didn't read the description, which was, there is a glass return in Germany, and they were really struggling with getting the labels off. And so they made a label in conjunction with the recycling industry in Germany to help cleanly get the label off so the glass could be reused. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
That makes more sense. But it
Yeah.
just, I was dumb and didn't read the entire post. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that Germany is obviously a big economy that is pushing towards reusability in glass, and glass is an amazing structure for reusability.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just,
Yeah. In Oregon here, we have our bottle drop program, which is a reusable glass bottle program for breweries and cideries. And it's very popular. And I think what we're seeing more is how when glass gets reused, there's almost a stripe around it of abrasion. That stripe is becoming a sign of sustainability and a sign of environmentally conscious companies. So I think consumers see that as, oh, okay, yeah, I like this because it's reusable. And you can get your 10-cent deposit back or whatever the system may be. But my opinion, it's a big part of the future of sustainable packaging. It's reusable glass.
Yeah. To answer Hugh's question, so Hugh asked the question, is it similar to the Clean Flake? It was kind of. Clean Flake is used for PET recycling, where the adhesive will come off after the PET has been chopped up and it goes through the caustic bath. The adhesive will actually break free along with the label and give you a clean flake to be able to recycle. This didn't have anything to do with recycling. This was all about reuse. So yes, similar in that the label and the adhesive come off just like Clean Flake. And by the way, Avery is not the only label material manufacturer who makes that. Everybody sort of has their own version of it. They've just Kleenexed it or styrofoamed it and did a good job branding it. So, but yes, Hugh, great question. Similar to that.
Yeah, no, it's good. I had the team over at Federgoni self-adhesive labels on. We were just talking about like a luxury label, and I'd never heard of luxury labels before. I'm like, just it's a label. Like
not
packaging,
just a label.
Packaging snob. You're like, that's just it's a sticker, But no, it's like, yeah, just like with them, like what they do is they're actually working with the brands, finding out the material that they're putting this label on, and figuring out the different components in terms of like just the adhesives of how to make it, water soluble, easy to remove. And they're like every adhesive that we develop is almost custom to the product and to the brand, which again for me, packaging stuff is like, okay, like that's really cool. Like I'd never heard, like I'd never even thought about that. I just assumed it's a label, it's a sticker, slap it on, move on.
Oh,
but no, you can't recycle things if you've got the wrong label on there, if you got the wrong adhesive, if you got the wrong material. So labels are super, super important.
Cory, it's 7:54 in the morning there. I'm not sure what it is that you're drinking, but it's a bit early.
This is
it's pure vodka.
Samples I was sent to by a company called CCL.
Yep.
I believe they're in Germany, but
they're everywhere.
This is the company that made the labels for Heineken, and so they sent me some so I can make some videos for TikTok and LinkedIn and all this stuff. But basically, what I saw is it shrinks off. It almost
only in cold water
dissolves, right? Yeah, in cold water. Yeah, just normal. It's normal. It's very standard.
Sorry. All right. Let's serious.
Yeah, this bottle used to be this big.
Shrink it, Jerry.
Glass is amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
All right, we got 5 minutes. So I can't wait to see this. Can't wait to see these videos. No, seriously, I want to see that. I'm thinking like it's like those shrinky dinks.
Yep. Exactly.
Right? But in water. Right. So just last thing I wanted to touch on was this thing. Hugh, you got to record some sound effects for us. What's the good shrinkage sound effect?
Oh no, nope. Let's just move on. Just keep on.
All
right. Last thing.
Except in this case, it's good. It's good.
Yeah,
that's right.
Awesome.
All right, this thing, which you're not looking at, but this. So there's a new petition that's been filed for anti-dumping and countervailing for paper bags. So if you're a packaging reseller, if you're a brand that's buying packaging, if you're buying bags, paper bags, like this is going to impact you at some point, potentially. If this goes through, we'll know here in the next week or so. But this is basically a couple of companies here in the US that make paper bags, large manufacturers of paper bags. You see their names on bags from like McDonald's to like your local donut company that manufacture standard paper bags, serrated top paper bags. This is basically saying that they want to do an investigation across bags that are being imported from, and they list, I think it's like 13 different countries. And you'd assume that they're all in Asia, but they're not. There you've got Europe. So you've got Cambodia, China, Colombia, India, Malaysia, Portugal, Taiwan, Turkey, and Vietnam. So basically what they're asking for is that fines be applied. So anybody that's bringing in product from these countries, that there be a potential 324% fine applied to that, or a tariff, right? In the form of a tariff, which, this makes it like impossible to remain competitive, and not just for the bag manufacturers or the bag distributors in these, in this country, but for the brands. So if you've purchased packaging that's, if you've bought a year's worth of packaging and it's rolling into the country, you could potentially be hit with these fines. It doesn't matter that you purchased it today, but you're rolling it in 12 months. These are the things that really, really hurt. And again, you don't kind of think through all of the steps, or maybe you do, right? It's like you want to put the hurt on the brand so that now they're forced to buy different products here in the US. One thing that's interesting here is that they are really specific to the type of bag that this applies to. And they're super specific on what is not included in here, what's excluded in the scope of this. The challenge with this, though, and the tricky part, the sly part of this, is that if you are a manufacturer of bags that do any of these things here that are excluded, you're kind of like, oh, no problem. It's excluding this stuff. Right. But the challenge comes in when you look at these HTS numbers, these harmonized tariff schedule numbers, these numbers cover everything that's listed in here, right? Like the higher level number actually covers everything that's in here. So this goes through, then potentially anybody that's making any type of bag out of paper could potentially be hit with these types of fines. And this goes across the board. When you go to your local retailer, when you go to a big retailer, anytime you're carrying a paper bag, like somebody's made that, take a look at where it's been made. Depending on the type of bag or construction, there's, we don't have a lot of that equipment to produce that stuff here in the US. A lot of the time that requires like hand labor of tying and gluing and stuff like that. So those aren't available here. It's not that people don't buy them here because they're cheaper somewhere else. It's just that the labor is not available to produce that stuff. We do make a ton of bags here in the US. Like we do, like the serrated tops, those are all made in the US. Like the Trader Joe's types of bags, which has the trifold paper handle, those are all made in the US. Those are all automated. There's like a paper twist handle. Those are all made in a lot of those are made in the US. But beyond that, like there's stuff coming in from a ton of different countries. Obviously, if you're importing from other countries that aren't listed on here, you're looking pretty good. But for how long, right? And I think that's important to look at.
It's pretty interesting to think about, like the timing of things, where it's like, let's put in plastic bag bans.
Yep.
And then now let's tariff paper so that it can't be brought in. And it's like, and we know we don't have the capacity to produce that. I mean, that much paper would be insane to make up for all of the, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty wild, honestly. And some of those numbers is like, they're very specific. It's like somebody has crunched the data and said X amount comes in from, Vietnam and from China, and therefore we're going to increase this to 324.3% is like,
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah.
Very-
So this is being brought on by a company called Novalex Holdings, and Novalex owns some packaging companies, obviously, that make paper bags. And yeah, it's crazy. So what they do is they'll send out, they'll send out questionnaires to brands that bring in paper bags. They'll send out questionnaires to manufacturers of paper bags, and it's coming in from the U.S. government, and you've got to fill it out, where you've got to put in your, they're probably asking you for your volumes, your quotes, like they're getting all of this information in order to be able to drill down what those percentages are. So yeah, there's a ton of research that goes into this stuff, and it just gets
if you
kind
want
of
to be able
challenging.
to quickly answer those questions, you should have spec right.
Yeah.
Bam,
You can pull
specwrite.com.
it. You
That's
can
right.
pull it all. And legitimately though, you could get all that data pretty quickly for EPR or for.
It's time to take control.
Love
That's
it.
right.
Well said, Matthew. Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But for real, it's like
100%.
if you don't have those specs, if you don't have that data, know that it's not just about. This is about answering government questions. It's about not spending weeks of your packaging engineer's time trying to track all this and your procurement's time. It's like if you do it now, then stuff like this, because it's going to all come up. Tariffs and EPR and all this stuff, it's all going to come up. Like you got to control your data. You just have to.
Yeah, no, 100%. There's never been a time where a company like SpecWrite matters so much in terms of just these large brands that are moving and trying to be nimble in packaging.
Yep.
It just doesn't exist. So definitely check out specwrite.com.
For sure.
Awesome, guys. I got to wrap up.
Well, hey,
I'm
speaking of which, sorry, I have Eric Norman from DOSME coming on my podcast this week, and he's a great partner actually with SpecWrite. So he employs college students to help with data migration so that companies don't have to do it. So it was a great interview, and it should be out tomorrow or Wednesday, depending on what time I get home tomorrow.
He's a good guy.
He's great. Yeah, it was an awesome interview.
Nice. That's awesome. Who do you got coming on, Cory?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even look.
Oh man, we got so many.
now whose turn is it to be confused? Because that's me every single week. Like I don't know, somebody. I'll have an episode out this week.
It's gonna be great. I promise.
It's gonna be the best.
Nice. I got the team from IDP Direct on when we recorded at Packaging Premiere in Milan. I still have a few other episodes to release from that, which is pretty good. So pretty excited to check them out. If you guys have any questions on anything we talked about today, or just anything in packaging in general, or something you'd like to see covered, do us a favor, throw it in the comments, or just type it in the comments. Either way, it works, and we'll try to get to it.
I've got Andrew Almack from Plastics for Change.
Oh, awesome! That guy's great.
Nice,
love it.
Good stuff, guys.
Stay tuned.
Thanks again, everybody, for joining us and checking this out, having us goof around on packaging. Nice to know we're not the only packaging nerds. All right, there's
bye,
baby
everybody.
Baby P.
Baby Adam says bye.
Peace out, guys.
Live from Studio 3, this is